SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries Stage Fright. Chapter 22. Madam Hagfish! Now there was a name I'd heard before. How could I forget it? When someone puts a hex on the place you work at and you have to go fetch the secret gold doubloon from the throat of the giant golden eel, well, you tend to remember her moniker. Luckily, I also remembered where she lived. SpongeBob and Sandy walked up the crooked steps to the green door of Madam Hagfish's old wagon home and knocked. Inside, an eerie green light switched on, shining through the ragged curtains. It almost seemed as though a dark, unnatural cloud hung over the wagon. For some reason, SpongeBob found himself thinking of the monster they had encountered at Old Man Jenkins's farm. The door creaked open slowly. Madam Hagfish wore gold-framed glasses, round gold earrings, and a maroon shawl. Her hair was blue, and her long purple eel-like body left a trail of slime wherever she slithered. "Yes?" she asked in a raspy voice. "Hello, Madam Hagfish!" SpongeBob said, greeting her cheerfully. "Remember me?" She peered down at him through her thick glasses. "No!" "From the Krusty Krab?" "No." "You put a hex on us! Mr. Krabs and I brought you the secret gold doubloon from the throat of the giant golden eel?" She smiled, showing her rows of sharp teeth. "Ah, indeed!" She beckoned with her bony finger. "Come in!" The inside of the wagon was lit with glowing candles. Books of spells and hexes lined the shelves, and cobwebs hung from the arms of the chairs. They sat down. After SpongeBob had introduced Sandy, Madam Hagfish asked, "So what can I do for you? Do you want me to put a hex on someone? Because that'll cost you." She waved her hand at the shabby furnishings. "All this doesn't come free, you know." No hexes today, thanks," SpongeBob said. "We just wanted to ask you about the Droopy Lane Theater." Madam Hagfish's face, already off-putting, darkened. "What about it?" "We heard you paid him a little visit," Sandy said. "So what?" Madam Hagfish snapped. "Seems like you weren't too pleased with the show they're putting on," SpongeBob prompted, hoping he might get her going on the subject. Maybe she'd even confess. The elderly fish wrinkled her nose as if something smelled bad. "Not the whole show," she corrected. "Just one number. That Sea Hag song. Terrible! To slander sea hags like that, making it seem as though we're hideous old monsters who constantly put hexes on our innocent victims." SpongeBob and Sandy exchanged a quick glance. It seemed like a pretty accurate description of Madam Hagfish. She caught their glance. "Okay, so maybe I do that, but it doesn't mean all sea hags do. Anyway, they wouldn't listen to me," she grumbled bitterly. "Tossed me out of my tail. I was going to go back and give them another piece of my mind, but then Chester got sick." "Chester?" Sandy asked. "Who's Chester?" "Chester's my sweet little pet sea cockroach," Madam Hagfish said, reaching under her chair and picking up a large bug-like animal with a joint armored back and lots of wriggling legs. "He's feeling a lot better now, but I've been stuck here in my wagon nursing him for the last couple of weeks. What a good boy he is." She kissed the top of the creature's head. Chester hissed. "What's the matter with him?" Sandy asked, her scientific curiosity aroused. "He sprained an ankle during his morning exercises. Poor little Chester Wester." "So you haven't been back to the Droopy Lane Theater in 2 weeks?" SpongeBob asked. "I haven't been anywhere in 2 weeks," Madam Hagfish stated. She leaned forward in her seat, looking closely at SpongeBob. "You know, for a cook at a fast food restaurant, you sure ask a lot of questions." "That's because I'm not just a fry cook," SpongeBob said. "Oh?" Madam Hagfish asked. "What else are you? A baker?" "A detective," he answered proudly, wishing he'd taken the time to pick up his trench coat and fedora on the way to Madam Hagfish's wagon. A dry, harsh croak came from the old lady's mouth, and another and another. SpongeBob realized she was laughing. Detective, she said in her grating voice. You don't look serious enough to be a detective. In fact, I think you're just about the silliest looking person I've ever met. No offense. None taken, SpongeBob said. He didn't say anything to Madame Hagfish for her time and left. As they walked away from her wagon, Sandy said, "So she's telling the truth. Madame Hagfish didn't commit any of the recent acts of sabotage at the theater. She hasn't left home for 2 weeks." "I think she's telling the truth," SpongeBob said. Sandy yawned. "Oh, should we head home?" "I don't think so." "Why not?" "According to Remora, the Sea Hag makeup was switched at night." "That's right," Sandy remembered. "The loosening of the pop over the stage could have been done at night too." "Exactly," SpongeBob said. "That's why we're going to spend tonight in the theater." Stay tuned for chapter 23 coming up soon.